Spring is basically just autumn with extra steps, which make it both harder and easier, so this is a guide on how to not always survive spring, but also how you can use it to your advantage. The biggest danger in spring is rain. It rains most of the time, which means that if you don't protect yourself from the rain, you're gonna be wet. So, what does that do? First of all, when you're wet, you're slowly gonna go insane, and the more you're wet, the faster your sanity goes down. Being wet also makes your body temperature go down. If the wetness meter is full, you'll be 30 degrees colder than normal, and this scales. So if it's at 50, you'll be 15 degrees colder, and so on. When your wetness meter reaches 35, all of your items that are in your inventory and not in a container like a backpack or a piggyback will become wet. Wet tools have a chance to slip out of your hands when you use them. Wet food spoils 30% faster. Wet fuels are 25% less effective, and wet clothes trade 6 sanity per minute when you wear them. The game has different names for the wet stuff, like fuels are called waterlogged and tools are called slippery, but this isn't something you have to worry about. So now that you know why you don't want to be wet, here's how to protect yourself from the rain. There's 2 pieces of clothing that give you 100% wetness resistance, the umbrella and the raincoat. The umbrella goes in your head slot, which makes it the better option as you can wear either a backpack or magiluminescence at the same time, and you can only get it if you killed deerclops in winter, which I explained how to easily do in my winter guide. To make one, you need the deerclops eyeball, 15 twigs and 4 bone shards. The other option is a raincoat, which goes in your body slot. To make it, you need 2 tentacle spots, 2 rope and 2 bone shards. The tentacle spots are trapped by tentacles which you can find in the swamp. You'll usually be able to find them on the ground because there's constant war in the swamp. If there is none, you'll have to kill some tentacles. Do 1 hit, dodge and repeat until it's dead. The spots have a 20% drop rate, so it might take a bit of time to get it. Alternatively, you can combine any head slot armor, which gives you 20% wetness resistance, with an umbrella, which gives you 90% wetness resistance. With a lot of rain comes a lot of lightning. Anything that is hit by lightning will be set on fire, so make sure to build lightning rocks everywhere there is something important. Additionally, if you play as WX78, getting hit by lightning will heal you by 100 health, but reduce your sanity by 33. It also puts you into overload, which does this. You can read it if you play as the NPC robot, because I'm not going to. Probably the worst part of rain is frog rain, which is exactly what it sounds like. It just rains a shit ton of frogs, that's all. Frogs will automatically become aggressive when you get close to them, and if you hit one, all of the single monsters in your area, I mean frogs, will become aggressive. For this reason, it's a horrible idea to try to fight them yourself, because it doesn't take much for you to get stunlocked and die. Instead, run away from your base to prevent it from getting overrun by frogs, and run to something like beefaloes which can help you fight them. But depending on how many players there are on the server, the frogs might easily be able to kill a whole beefalo herd. The best option is moose goose, which is the seasonal boss of spring, and I'll talk about her right now. Unlike Berger and deerclops, moose goose doesn't shove itself right up your face and force you to deal with it. In fact, you can completely ignore her and nothing will happen. But it's still good to fight her because the down feathers that she drops lets you grab the luxury fan, which lowers your temperature by 50 degrees and puts out flowers that are close to you, which means it's really good for summer. Moose goose spawns next to these spawns with berry bushes around them, and you can confirm that by the circle of lines next to it, which turns into an egg in spring. In a couple of days since the start of spring, the eggs will hatch, spawning some children. When you come near the nest, the fat bird will come down from the sky and then you can fight it. So here's how to kill her. Bring some healing food such as pierogies or bunny stew, a weapon like a hand bat, tentacle spike or a dark sword, and 3 to 4 pieces of armor like a football helmet or a log suit. Do 3 hits then dodge and repeat. After every 3rd attack, she will honk, which will knock the weapon out of your hands, but you can just hold space when she does it and you'll immediately re-equip it. After you've killed her, you still have her kids to worry about. Once they've found out that their mom is dead, they're gonna charge at you, spinning around like a street fighter after trying to throw a punch. The easiest way to avoid them is just to walk in a big circle around them. Once you're done doing a fidget spinner, they'll be stunned for a little while so you can land some hits or even kill one. And now you kill more children and the boss fight is officially over. This is gonna be a short one. In spring, a couple changes happen to animals. It's mating season for beefaloes and they're gonna be automatically aggressive to you and every other creature that comes near you for the whole season. This can be negated by a beefalo hat. Bees will also become aggressive whenever you come near their nests, and that also applies to bee boxes. Rabbit holes collapse in on themselves for the season, meaning you can't get any rabbits, and flowers will randomly spawn everywhere. So if you picked all the flowers for sanity in the first 5 days, you can now pick more flowers for more sanity again. Life's awesome. The great part about spring is that it makes farming infinitely easier. First let's talk about gardening, because that one's the most complicated. I'll try to make it easy to understand. So first, to be able to farm, you have to make a garden magic. Use it, after a short while the ground has now turned into farmland, dig up the garden that trenches, and now you can use a hoe to create these things which you can put seeds in. Basic seeds which you can find lying around the world will give you a random plant, and this table shows you the chances. It also shows you pretty much everything you need to know, so I'll be returning to it several times. If you just let a plant grow, it'll give you just the product. If you want to get seeds as well, you don't have to worry about stress points. From 0 to 1 stress points, you get a giant crop. From 2 to 6 stress points, you get 1 product and 2 seeds. From 7 to 11, you get 1 product and 1 seed. And from 12 and up, you just get the product. You want to either go for 1 product and 1 seed to sustain your farm while feeding you, or go for giant crowns, which will give 2 to 3 products and 2 seeds with a small chance of 3. For the first option, you only need to take care of the plant's happiness, which is done by talking to them, or using something like a beeful horn or a one-man band. For giant crops, you'll have to take care of everything. First stress point is its happiness, which I just talked about. Second stress point is moisture, which can be completely ignored if it's spraying because of the rain, but otherwise you'll have to make a watering can, fill it up in a pond, and then water it once or twice per stage. Third stress point is ground nutrients, which is either compost, grow formula, or manure. These are the nutrients each plant consumes in each growth stage, and you have to give it as many as it does. So for example, for the dragon fruit, you want to give it 8 manure every time it grows. This value is for a single plant and it stacks, so it can take a lot of fertilizer. Fourth stress point is killjoys, which happens if there are any weeds and rotten plants nearby. If you see weeds, just dig them up. Fifth is season. If it's not a plant's favorite, it gains a stress point in each stage, so if it's not the right season, you can't get giant crops. Here are the favorite season for each plant, they show a screen on the table. Sixth stress point is family. It gains a stress point if there are less than 4 total plants of the same type within 2 tiles. Seventh stress point is overcrowding, which is if there are 10 or more total plants within each tile. I recommend using the snapping tiles mod and set it to optimize mode. You can change the modes by pressing L. Another thing is that berries, grass, twigs, and other plants grow a lot faster. And the last thing I'll talk about is lure plants, which can randomly spawn anywhere you've previously been. You have the meaty bulb and the eye plants, which spawn in a pattern around the meaty bulb. The eye plants will attack anyone that comes close to them, and if there's anything harvestable near them, like grass or an item on the ground, they'll eat it and give it to the bulb, which will store the item and digest 1 single item per 20 seconds. If you kill the meaty bulb, it'll drop all the undigested items in itself, allowing you to plant it somewhere else. You can, for example, use it for grass farms and twig farms, like in this design by Jakeyosaurus. Now the video is over. If it has helped you, I'd appreciate if you'd subscribe, like the video, share it, watch it on 10 other accounts, and send me $10,000 US and sell your stuff to the level. Goodbye.